Hello and welcome back. This is our week ahead reading. Thank you for joining me this week. This is the week ahead reading for the week that starts March 30th, Monday, March 30th. And today, tapping into this week ahead reading, I am just going to pull some runes and share some runic messages for the overall energy of this week. I'm not going into any of the like astrology of the week or anything like that. I have done that in past week ahead readings, and it just doesn't feel like that is um, being called for to this week. So I'm going to trust that. And I haven't even looked at the astrology of this week ahead because every time I tapped in to go, okay, well, maybe it's time to go look into the week ahead's astrology. It was always a no, no, no. Just be with the energy without worrying about what anything else says about what is happening this week. So I'm going to invite you if that resonates. If you want to join me in that, then you know beautiful. Stay here for this reading with me. We're just going to tap in with the runes and see what the energy of this week is, and how to meet the energy of this week. So I'm going to pull runes in a minute. Just a reminder that last week we were working through continuing with this theme of community and like being connected to our community, being connected to our soul tribe coming up a lot in the last couple of weeks. And so that was one of the themes last week. There was also a theme of transformation and maybe bridging one reality to a next that came up last week, as well as the theme of potentially like there might be opportunities that show up for you or showed up for you at the end of last week that it was kind of up to you if you were going to seize any of those opportunities, as it were, or if they were like the right things for you to follow or not. And so I just bring that in because you know we're just looking at a week at a time. This energy can linger and continue. So if you still feel like you're in a space where you are perhaps weighing opportunities or you're still bridging a transformation, beautiful. That might still be very present in your reality, and that's okay. That's wonderful. Bring that into your awareness as you hear and receive what the runes have for us for this week. Okay, so just stating out loud the intention. I've already opened and set space before I hit record, but just setting the intention, asking for the loving spirit of the runes to support and to come forward in this reading, asking for this collective reading, this collective tap into the energy of the week ahead, and asking for the runes to give us whatever guidance or energy read is available, is for our highest good and is for the highest good of anyone who is here receiving this. So if you are here receiving this, then my intention is that this reading is for you. Okay, so asking for the energy of the week of March 30th. How should we approach this week? What is the energy? How do we connect in? How do we prepare? So starting with just one rune, actually. Okay, so we have the rune to start with. We have this rune, Awaz. This is a rune of, there's some forward movement to this. But it's like forward movement that's very focused, very clear. So the energy of this week starts out with, let's get some clarity. Um, you you may want to be moving forward on things. There might be ideas, projects, opportunities from last week where you're like, I want to move forward on this. And so Awaz is yes, let's move forward, but be very clear about what you're putting energy into. It's not like it's like don't let your energy be scattered. If your energy is scattered over here or scattered over there, you need to pull your energy back together. You need to pull it into yourself first before moving forward, before taking action, before starting forward on this path, because we want clarity. So this rune is saying move forward, take action, but there is a clarity that you need to make sure you have. And if you don't have that clarity, then this is a great time, first day or two of this week, really sit with yourself, sit with what is present, sit with what you're perhaps wanting to take action on, and really like figure out how you get your clarity on that, right? Everyone's gonna have their own way, but how do you get clarity on how you're moving forward? All right, and what is next? Collective energy for the week of March 30th. Okay, and then we have Tiwaz, and it's upside down. So this rune is a rune of that asks us to look at like what are our wants and our needs? And sometimes they're the same, sometimes they're not the same. And when it's upside down, Tiwaz is really saying like, this is not a week to cater to your wants. It's a week to cater to your needs. You may want all this to do all this stuff, but what do you actually need? And when you think about that, like sometimes I hear that or I receive that rune and I'm like, what do I do with that? So let's break it down. What do you actually need? What does your body need to function well and be healthy? What does your brain need to function and be healthy? What does your schedule need to, to give you as much support as you can possibly receive throughout the week so that you can show up for your life in the best way possible. What do you actually need to nourish yourself, to take care of yourself, and to show up as your highest best self this week? So as opposed to like, I'm going to make a silly example up. Like you may be like, I really want to go to the movies, right? But do you really need to? Right? And maybe there could be an argument for like, yes, I need to. Like this is part of self-care. This is part of like I need 2 hours to go wind down and just like be entertained and be able to like disconnect and relax. Sure, that could be like if that's a really deep need, then maybe going to the movies would be a need. But in general, that's something that we could look at and mostly be like, it's probably a want, not a need, right? And so obviously that's a little bit of a silly example, but that's the kind of energy this week where we want to be like, okay, I might really want this, right? I might really want this opportunity. I might really want to have this connection with this person. I might really want to take action on this thing, but do I have the clarity that that's the thing I want to take action on? And is that actually what I need to do, or do I just want to? And need is going to feel, that's gonna come from a deep internal space. That's like your whole body saying, yes, I need this, as opposed to a want is, think of it as a little more like your ego. Your ego wants it, your human self wants it. Maybe not your soul, your spirit wants it as much. So it might not be the same. Like a need is like a deep internal, like from your organs, from your tissues, from your bones. Like, yes, I need this. Whereas a want is like a little bit more from your mind. Like, yeah, I really want to do that. So this is a week to really pay attention to what do you need, and maybe like your needs need to come above your wants. That is going to support the action and the clarity of whatever this week brings forward for you. And then anything else for this week ahead? The runes. Me with this collective reading. And again, we have our soul tribe, our community. So this is again a week to continue being connected to your community, to your soul tribe, to continue nurturing connections with community and soul tribe, to continue anchoring in those connections. Like this is a week to continue prioritizing who do you need to spend time with. If you need to spend time with people, it's your soul tribe. It's not the people that you don't really care that much about, right? Who it's like, no offense to them, they're just not your close people, right? Those are not the people to put your energy into this week. The people to put your energy into this week are your deep soul tribe, your family, right? Your family, whether it's your biological family, your soul family, or both. Any other energy for this week? Yeah, okay. And then we have this rune. Okay. And this rune is asking us to really get clear on who we are. How are we showing ourselves to the world? Because it's upside down. And so when it's upside down, it's like, who are you being? Do you like the identity that you're being? Do you like who you're being in the world? Is this your truest self that you're being in this world? And if it's not, no shame, but it's time to get clearer, to really figure out, am I being who I want to be? Am I showing myself to the world in the way I want to show myself to the world? Right? So this is a week. We need clarity. We need action. What do we need? Not just what we want. Making time for our soul family and communities. And then also there's some identity this week. Who are you? Do you like who you're being? If you don't like who you're being, if you're not fully embodying who you want to be, then this is a week to really get clear on like, what's in the way? What's going on there? how do you come back to, or maybe discover or rediscover, or both, who you really are, as opposed to who you've had to be for the world to take you seriously, or um, for whatever, a certain season of your life has required from you. Maybe that's not who you really are. Maybe it's not your truest identity. So who are you ready to become now? There's an element here of like some version of identity might be dying this week. It might be dissolving this week. And that could also be, connecting these two runes together. Do you still need that version of identity? And if not, do you still want it? And if you want it, but you don't need it, why do you want it? Right? But if you don't need it anymore, it's time to let it go. And if you don't need it, but you want it, it's also still time to let it go, although it might require a little bit more soul searching to figure out why you want it when you don't need it anymore. So this is, I think this is going to be an interesting, I think another powerful week. We're in a really powerful part of 2026. Like there is, without going into or even honestly remembering all the specific transits happening astrologically this week, we are moving into April. April is another really powerful, busy month astrologically in 2026. So this is a week to keep meeting the energy. Keep meeting the energy. There is still potentially some shedding or some clarifying. It may not be shedding so much anymore as like clarity and clarifying. Like, okay, I don't need this anymore. I'm not going to do this. Or I don't need this. I don't want this. I'm not going to keep living these ways. This is not my identity. This is not who I want to show up as and be anymore. So this is like a week of maybe whittling down and clarifying what's actually important to you and who you actually are and who you're actually here to be. So show up for that. Be present for that and see where it takes you. Yeah. I know this is quite a short week ahead reading, but this one feels short, fast, easy. Let's tap in and continue on. So that's our week ahead reading. Thanks for joining me. And I'll see you next week. I hope this is helpful. And yeah, I hope this is a really beautiful week. Even if there are some uncomfortable at times layers to peel back, some of that clarity, hopefully this week is still quite a fruitful, like, yes, I have the clarity and the trust in myself to peel back these layers and not keep being or doing these things that are no longer, in alignment with who I am and who I'm becoming. Okay. Thanks for joining me.